Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to Bhroman Braapsody, and today we are back at Motorcycles of Greensboro with the man, the myth, the legend. It's the Professor. Professor, how are you?
Bro, welcome back home, brother.
Thank you so much. I'm living the dream, Professor. I see a Ducati box, and what is the special bike today, Professor?
We've had more special bikes, but this one is special because it's the Multistrada Pikes Peak, and it's one of the very first in the country. The Pikes Peak has been in production for several years now, and it is a Multistrada, but it's a beautiful Multistrada, and it appeals to me because it makes absolutely no qualms about not off-roading. It doesn't do the dirty thing.
Underneath the box is a 2022 Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak. So
usually what the Pikes Peak is a Multistrada with more racy type stuff, right? A lot of Italian chrome. Carbon fiber. A lot of Italian chrome. And just a little more sporty look livery and so on and so forth. But for 2022, Ducati actually decided that they were going to make the Pikes Peak edition a actually track-worthy machine. So as our superstar Troy is going to start unboxing the bike, we're going to step out of the way and we're going to see exactly what they had in mind. And there he goes with his blade. And then pretty soon he's going to pull out his special power thing, whatever he calls that thing.
The little drill thing.
Tools, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, me and tools, we don't get along. All the dirty I want to get is the bug splattered on my leather suit.
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair
and my helmet.
On your helmet, yeah. Just look at it, man.
And being in the Carolinas, you get plenty of bugs.
Plenty of bugs. This is bug season. This is bug season. Oh, man. Just look at it. I can just see the Ducati white and red, the red, white, black combination that you see on a lot of Panigales, right? Yes.
But there's more sporty livery. Yeah. Usually what the Pikes Peak is a Multistrada with forged wheels, Italian chrome, as mentioned.
Italian chrome, yes, sir.
And Ohlins suspension, right? For the most part, the engine has stayed the same, the chassis has stayed the same.
So although those might seem small and minute or even something that you might not even think about them, but I think all of those little changes add up to the whole performance-oriented outlook that this Pikes Peak is not trying to go for, is going for.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, lighter weight, reduced friction. This bike makes absolutely no claims at off-roading at all. So yeah,
and it also borrows technology from the Panigales and the V4s with the cornering ABS and IMU.
Yes.
All of those technology stuff, and it also brings what the Multistrada V4S gave us with the adaptive cruise control and the blind spot monitoring.
Isn't that just something? How you can put streetability with trackability at the same
and just bring them together.
Yes.
This is beautiful. I mean, this is just the wonder of engineering and innovation that I think we're seeing from Ducati lately, that we've seen on all of these bikes. Now, I know you've been dying to tell me, like, why is this bike called the Pikes Peak? Why the Pikes Peak?
Well, Pikes Peak is a race that takes place in Colorado, and it's been taking place for nearly 100 years. Okay. And it's a week long where both motorcycles and cars will race from the base of a mountain to the top of the mountain, and they call it the race to the clouds, right?
And the mountain is called the Pikes Peak?
Pikes Peak. Okay. So for the longest time, the Pikes Peak race involved both some asphalt and some dirt. A few years ago, they finally paved the whole way up, so now speeds going up to the top of Pikes Peak are much, much faster. The Multistrada has been the motorcycle that's been winning the Pikes Peak race consistently for several years, starting with our friend Greg, and then eventually Carlin, and that's a whole story all to itself. Carlin Dunn was the Ducati dealer in Santa Barbara, California, who took his demo bike off of his showroom floor, rode it to Pikes Peak, raced, won, put all the street stuff back on it, and rode it back home.
Oh wow!
And set a new time record while he was at it.
Dang.
Unfortunately, Carlin had an accident at Pikes Peak a few years ago. He's no longer with us.
Oh, dang.
Sad story. I still get a knot in my throat.
Yeah.
But Greg, prior to Carlin, Greg had won the race on a Multistrada a couple of years, and he's actually the one that I know that quoted that there are parts of Pikes Peak that if you don't stay on the road and you fall off, you'll die of starvation before you hit the bottom.
Oh.
That's how steep some of those ravines are. Yeah. Very exciting race, and the most exciting part of it too is at the top. As you're coming around the last corner, there definitely is not enough space, there's not enough space to be able to come around the corner at full speed and stop by the drop-off if you're not full on the brakes as if you were still racing. Although you just crossed the finish line. It's pretty impressive. I don't know how much longer the race is going to go on, especially for motorcycles, because they've already banned them.
Oh, wow.
Going back a year or so. So yeah, I know that for only one time another motorcycle won it 1 year. But for the most part, the Multistrada has been the winningest motorcycle at Pikes Peak in its class. So that's why it's called the Pikes Peak.
And that's why paying homage to the legendary success at Pikes Peak.
The difference for 2022 in the bike itself is this one is the first Pikes Peak that comes out of the box with the 4 modes, obviously, 4 bikes in one. But on this one, they actually got rid of the Enduro mode and replaced it with race mode.
And the 4 modes therefore are race, sport, touring, and urban.
Correct. Previous years, the Multistrada offered the very same ergonomics, whether you were buying the standard or the Pikes Peak. This year, the foot pegs are 10 millimeters higher and further back, and the handlebars are narrower and lower. And so basically what you're looking at here is a very, very, very comfortable sport bike. Look at that.
Oh my God. Oh wow, look at that seat color. I like the black and red.
Right.
You can see the little bit of the trellis frame, and it just looks so dang sporty.
And it even has a V4 on the red part of the back seat. That is nice.
But this bike,
I'll tell you, pictures don't do this bike justice.
This does not. It just looks so beautiful.
I'm speechless.
We both are.
Let me catch my breath.
Yeah, we both are.
Wow. So I wonder how many of you, the viewers, are sitting here wondering, going, well, why are you filming so many Ducatis and not so much of anything else, right?
Yeah, well.
Would it be a fair statement to say that because Ducati keeps putting out some special liveries and special production and
that is true.
Limited production? It keeps it exciting, and
I'd rather drool over the Ducatis.
Oh,
they're so drool worthy.
So drool worthy.
Yes. Look at those front forks. Oh,
nice, right?
Beautiful. Nice is an understatement.
And there she goes.
There's your adaptive cruise control radar. It's got the similar look up front of a regular Multistrada. These are LED DRLs, beautiful lights, cornering ABS, all that fun stuff on this bike. A lot of Italian chrome, as the professor calls it. This is carbon fiber. Biggest difference between the Pikes Peak and the regular Multistrada is the 17-inch front wheel, and it's forged aluminum wheels, and you have Ohlins suspension going up front. Braking is done by dual 320mm disc brakes with Brembo calipers, and this bike has a 25.5-degree rake angle. What's the rake angle, you ask? Well, draw perpendicular from the steering mount, follow the fork tube. That's your rake angle. Shorter the rake angle, the more nimble the bike is, and larger the rake angle, the more comfortable it's at higher speeds, highway speeds, and such. So this will have a little windshield here. We don't have it. It's not installed yet. You have the little tricolore on the side. This is the side panel with the number 1. And you have this color scheme here. It's the black, purple, and bright orangish, you might think, but that's HD red, Ducati HD red. So underneath all of that is the liquid cooled 1158cc V4 that puts out 170 horses and 92 foot-pound of torque. This bike weighs 527 pounds. You have the little trellis frame there. I love that. I really love the trellis frame, the red. And that's your Akrapovic exhaust. It's a full, complete exhaust system there. This seating position is more aggressive. You can see the handlebars are not They're lowered a little bit and they're not as wide as the Multistrada V4. They're a little narrower, they're not raised as much. I think they're dropped by 0.6 inches. These seats look nice, and check this out. The pillion seat says V4 in the contrast red and black. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. License plate holder, turn signals, tail light, and underneath the tail light is your radar again. That's for your adaptive cruise, blind spot monitoring, all of that. You have a little storage space here. This is where you can put your key fob, your phone, you have your USB cable and all of that. All of those things in here. Fuel cap, and it's got keyless ignition. That's your TFT screen where you'll see all your fun options and whatever. So this bike still needs to be charged. The battery needs to be charged and it still needs to be put together. So I'm not gonna mess around with it too much.
You know, the thing that I'm just kind of curious about now that we got these panels on, I wonder if Ducati didn't call the 80s and decided to just kind of put a little accent of the 80s on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
The bright orange and the purple piece. Yeah.
Well, the bright orange, I get that
that's
part.
Ducati,
because
Ducati
that's
HD.
the Ducati HD red. But the purplish,
I don't know. Maybe it
looks good though.
It looks good. And like, so for the folks there, like he said the Ducati HD red. So that basically means like when you see the races on your TV, on your high definition screen, that orange really looks like red, whereas this red looks a little maroonish.
Yeah, it's too dark.
Too dark, yeah. So maybe that purple would look different on TV.
We'll have to see what it looks like on HD something. Yeah.
So can you tell our viewers a little bit about Motorcycles of Greensboro? What is this place?
Unlike any other dealership, you know, for me a dealership has kind of like this sensation of pushy sales guys, you know, let's do it today, buy it today, buy it today. Not here, we don't do that. We believe in the fact that we like to share our knowledge, our enthusiasm, our passion for the brands that we represent, and then let our motorcycling friends and motorcycling enthusiasts make an educated decision. We love having people come here and tell us their stories. We like to share our stories, obviously, because it's always about sharing stories, right?
Stories.
For example, the future owner of this bike, Mike, he's got a lot of stories to tell because he's been in the Ducati thing for a long time. Yeah, so you think I'm knowledgeable? I know nothing compared to that guy.
So this is Motorcycles of Greensboro. This is what we like to call it as a motorcycling enthusiasts center.
Yes,
you
that's what I
show
meant
up
to
here, doesn't matter which make, model, what kind of bike it is, show up, talk about motorcycles, talk about motorcycling. You love track days, you have somebody to talk to, the professor. You like doing stuff off-road. There's Brandon, there's Andrew, there's so many people. They have 300 years of experience within these walls. The staff here is amazing. They're professional, they're friendly. You can come in and have a talk, have a chat, and just talk about random stuff about motorcycles.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Otherwise, you know, the professor's gonna be like,
otherwise I won't talk to you.
Each unboxing is a new experience for me, and you know what? I won't trade it for anything.
No, they're fun, aren't they?
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Professor.
Bro,
thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
Now, ride fast, take chances.
Take chances.